Hello, everyone. It has been a minute since we've been in the podcast studio, but I'm glad to be back here today. And I want to talk to you today about, do you really want to have an online yoga business? Do you really want to go online? Do you really want to go online? Because these are the realities of going online. And I think it's something that people don't think about. I think it's something that people think is different than it is. And you have been sold a lot of lies about what going online really means and passive income. And here's the spoiler alert. There's no such thing as passive income. Okay. All right, let's get in it. Let's get in it today. My name is Angelica. I'm super excited to be here with you. I'm known as Yoga Celebrity on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, my podcast, everywhere. It started as a joke with my teacher and ended up being my name on the internet. So it's kind of a joke because no one's a yoga celebrity. Maybe Keena McGregor. She could be a yoga celebrity. Anyhow, my name is Angelica, and I have been teaching yoga for 25 years. I've been practicing yoga for about 40 years. I started when I was a young girl, living on a farm, and I opened my first yoga studio in 2008 in Las Vegas, Nevada, inside of a garage. And I grew that to a large studio right off of the Las Vegas Strip. It's still there. You can go visit it today. It's called Sin City Yoga. I do not own it, though some other people do, and they're wonderful human beings. So if you're ever in Las Vegas, do come to a class there and know that I painted the walls and put up the chandeliers. Literally. Anyhow, I host online trainings for yoga teachers now. I went online in the end of 2020, and I have absolutely enjoyed my journey online. It's been really incredible going online. To be totally honest, I had no idea it was going to be this great. The best part is that I work with the most incredible people. I work with the most incredible people. I primarily work with women. Gotta get a drink. I live in the desert. Gotta wet the tongue. I primarily work with women, sometimes with men, most of the time not though. And what I do is I help yoga teachers build their online business. Now, I also have my own online business, and there I work with everybody, right? Because I don't actually know who's buying all those classes because I host my own offers. I do have other offers that I do get to know the people that are a little bit more expensive to work with me. Things like my 200-hour, my 300-hour, that a couple $1,000s to work one-on-one. And it's with me or with some of my teachers. I like to give people a really varied experience. Anyhow, I think it's important for your growth as a yoga teacher to not just hear one voice, but to hear many voices, because you should not agree with everybody. You should not agree with everybody on everything. You should have your own opinion. Okay. I hate the word should. Anyhow, do what you want to do is all I'm saying. All right. So the realities of going online are that this is a ton of work. This is a fuck ton of work. It is not something that is just going to be passive, that especially in the beginning. Like people, I don't think, I'll have people come into my Empowered Yoga Teachers course where I help yoga teachers and other healers. We work with people outside of yoga teachers too, but you got to like pick a particular person. So, people who do Reiki, people who do massage, like mystic stuff, tarot reading, any of that will work. Okay. But the people that we work with sometimes will come in and they'll think that this is going to be easy. Now, we never tell anybody that. Like, honestly, if you watch anything that we do, any of my videos, you go and get in the Facebook group, you work with Francesca when she does lives on the Facebook group, you come to one of our calls and talk to us before we onboard people into the program. We're never saying it's easy. We're never saying that. We're saying it's more work than you think it's going to be. And I'm completely transparent about that. But there's this perception out there that people think it's going to be simple. And it's just not. There's a really long learning curve. I had somebody the other day say like, oh, well, I didn't grow up with tech. Well, I didn't grow up with tech. I was born in 1974, right? That's no excuse for not learning it. But all that means is that it takes a lot of work. No one tells you in our program that it's not going to be a lot of work, but you will hear that out there. People will say, because they're just trying to take your money. That's the first way you can know if somebody's trying to take your money, is that they'll say like, "Oh, um, it's easy, it's simple. We'll do it all for you." Ain't nobody going to do the work for you. You have to do the work. And so one of the things that we do in our course is we teach you how to do it so that you know how to create your own offers. You know how to create your own landing pages. You know how to do your own email automations. You know how to speak to your audience. Listen, I know how to speak to my audience very intimately. I know what people's fears are. I know what they're worried about. I know that like a lot of you are worried about just getting started online. I know that you're worried about fear of failure. Some of you are worried about like doing all this work and then not making any money. You know what? That might happen. That might happen. But here's the thing. Your fear isn't what's going to get you where you want to go. And at the end of your life, you're not going to be like, "Oh, I'm so glad I listened to that fear. I'm so glad I didn't do that." No, you're not going to say that. You're going to say, "I wish I had gone after my dream. I wish I had done the things that I wanted to do." I was in the hospital a few months back. I had gallstones. I had a gallstone attack and I thought I was going to die. Like I really did. And some people have told me now that it's worse than having children. I've never had children, so I wouldn't know. But some of my clients have told me that like gallstones are worse than having children. So I'm in the hospital and I'm like, don't give me any morphine. Don't give me any. I didn't want him to think I was drug seeking. So I'm just sitting there crying, about to pass out from the pain. And finally, this one nurse like really convinced me to take some morphine. And so I did. And I felt like good, but it also like backed me up for a week. So I don't know if I would suggest that either. But anyhow, I'm in there. I think I'm going to die. And I never once was like, "Oh, I wish I hadn't have followed my dreams," because I always do. Because I always do. Because when I moved from the garage yoga studio to the 6,000 square foot studio, there wasn't a moment in my mind where I was like, you know, I should not do this because of fear. It was a real breaking point. I remember standing in front of that studio and being like, and it was like it was just a gray box then. It didn't have, I was going to have to redo a lot of stuff. I had to like take down the ceiling and like put in different lighting and like all this. Oh, it was a nightmare. It was a lot of work and it was going to cost me money. I paid for it all cash. I didn't get any loans. In my online business, I've leveraged, interest-free credit cards and things like that. But I never did that with my in-person business. But now I have learned a different skill set around that. Anyhow, I remember standing in front of the studio and being like, this could either bankrupt me or this could be like the greatest thing I've ever done. And the thought in my head was, when you die, will you wish that you did this? And I immediately was like, I will. I wish that I did this. And so because of that, I decided to go ahead and go forward and build an online business. I'm sorry. That's what I'm talking about now. To go forward and start that yoga studio. And I never regretted it. That made me my first million. And I remember being a kid being like, every time I would be my birthday, I'd blow out the candle and be like, I want $1 million. That's what's that, I don't know about you, but like, that was like my thing I really wanted. And so the yoga studio made me my first million. And then I sold it in 2018 after watching Russell Brunson speak at 10X GrowthCon with about ClickFunnels and how you could go online and build your business. And I do use ClickFunnels. I know like people are like have this really negative connotation to it, but I don't get that. It's just software. And honestly, like Russell Brunson's an incredible human being, but I don't know. I think people see the 2 Club award and they're like, "Oh my God, oh, they only care about money." You know what? I care about money. People who are like, "Oh, money doesn't make you happy." It does. It does. Those people don't have money. That's why they think money doesn't make them happy, because money does make you happy. It can buy a lot of happiness, but you have to have a lot of it. And we're in this like era right now where the online is like, it's kind of like the .com boom. Like back when you could buy pen.com or you could buy keychain.com or you could buy, bottle.com, like whatever, right? We're there right now with online courses. Now is the time to jump in and create your online course. Now is the time to live your dream and actually do that, right? Now is the time to do that. But you will have to work at it. It will not be easy. It will not come to you with not posting. We had somebody say, well, that's crazy that you asked me to post online every day. That's crazy. What do you think having an online business is? What do you think having an online business is? It's posting online. Somebody maybe sold you a pile of goods that said that you don't have to do the work and somehow online is just going to magically be easier. No, there's nothing worth having as easy. If you want to make a ton of money, you are going to have to work really hard to do that. That's just the reality of it. That's how it works. The reality is that you are going to have to work in order to make money online. You're just going to have to work. That's how it is. That's the reality of making money online. You're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to post every day. In fact, I'm going to ask you to post 2 to 3 times a day. Why am I going to ask you to do that? Because I want you to intimately know your audience. I want you to know what works. I want you to be able to look at your content and analyze what is working and what's not working. Those are the most important things, right? You need to not be creating content that serves you. You need to be creating content that serves another. So if you're creating content that serves you, you will not get good views. You will not get responses. You will not get people saving. You will not get people liking. You will not get people commenting, right? The other thing is that you're not going for views, right? Views is a vanity metric, right? That's not important. What you're looking at is the statistics of, did this video do better than this video from a statistical standpoint, or what are the different indicators that the video might have done well? Were there more comments on this video? You know, I remember in the beginning, like not getting any comments for like years, like almost never got comments. And they would be like, gurus would be like, stick around and make sure you respond to the comments after you post. Don't post and ghost. Listen, post and ghost. Because you know what? The algorithm in the beginning, it actually will try, it thinks you have your notifications turned on, so it will try to get you back in. So it will push your videos out to more people. But all these little tricks and stuff don't matter if you're not making good content. You only get good at making content by making more content. That's literally it. Like, you have to make more content to get good at making content. If I could say that again, you have to make more content to get good at making content. It is not crazy to post 20 times a day. It is not crazy to post 20 times a day. That will get you there faster. The more you can put into this, the more effort you can put into this, the better you're going to be at it. That's the reality. And anybody telling you any less is not going to be telling you the truth. You know, I had somebody the other day say, well, I don't want to do the kind of video where you just put text on screen and it's like 5 to 7 seconds. That doesn't feel authentic to me. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's about what works. That type of video works really well for paid advertising. So if you're just saying like, I'm not going to do that kind of video because it doesn't feel authentic to me, you are thinking about the wrong things. You have to think about what's effective when you're creating content, and you have to get good at creating content to know what's effective at creating content. Like, that's how it works. You're going to have to create a ton of content. If you want to be good at YouTube, you can't dabble in it. You cannot dabble in it. You cannot post once a month and think that like one video is going to break out and go viral. That's not how the algorithms work. YouTube loves consistency. YouTube loves consistency. You have to put out really good product because YouTube likes 2 things, watch time and consistency. So you got to put out watch time, things that people want to watch. They want to watch through the whole video. And then the second thing you need to put out is you need to put out content consistently. Consistency always wins. Consistency always wins. So you need to like Every Friday at 9 a.m., you put a video out. Every Friday at 9 a.m., you put a video out. That's how it works on YouTube. That's how it works. Now, I'm not talking about YouTube Shorts. I'm talking about YouTube long form. There's different strategies. There are actually different algorithms. YouTube has said that. All right. So here's the thing. If you're ready to do some work, if you're not one of those people that's going to be like, I don't want to post online. Listen, if you don't want to post online, you don't want an online business. If you don't want to post online, you don't want an online business. If you don't want to learn how to do landing pages, you don't want an online business. If you think you can hire it all out to a VA, they're going to do a shitty job. They are not going to do the kind of work that you want. They will not understand your customer. I write all my own captions. AI does not write my captions. AI does not write my captions. I write my captions. When you see my captions on Instagram, I wrote those. I thought about that. I put the thought into the effort into writing that because I know my audience. AI doesn't know my audience. AI can never know your audience. AI isn't you. You are the valuable commodity, right? There are no shortcuts to massive success. The people trying to take shortcuts, those people are not the winners online. That's the reality. I'm going to be honest with you every single day. I'm going to be honest with you all of the time. If you come into my Empowered Yoga Teachers course, if you go down, you apply at the link below, you meet with us one-on-one, we talk to you, then we will be honest with you every day. Is it cheap to work with us? No, because we're not a cheap program. We don't work with cheap, right? But you have to get a different mindset around money, right? Is it astronomical to work with us? No. It's not. It's in line with the market. But you have to look at things and you have to see them as, is this going to get me where I want to go? Can you buy cheaper programs? Yes, you 100% can, but they will not give you results, right? So what you want is results. So everything that you're purchasing. I remember there was a time when I went through my bankruptcy that it was like a Scarlett O'Hara moment. And I was like, as God is my witness, I will never say this again. And I remember feeling like so bad because I was laid off in 2008. And I remember feeling so bad about having to say, I can't do this because I don't have the money. I remember what it was. Okay. So I was teaching poker players how to do yoga and from Vegas. And one of the poker players, they were all going to O. They were all going to see O. And, I was young, I was beautiful, and I was used to men paying for everything. And so they were all going to O and at the Bellagio. It's a Cirque du Soleil show. And they were like, you should go. And it was like $100. I was like, I don't have that money. I can't go. And everybody wanted me to go and all the other people went. And some other girl got my space as the poker girl that time. And they paid for her and they didn't pay for me. And I was like bummed out. And, when you're young. Anyhow, I remember in my mind being like, I'm never going to say I don't have the money again. When I want to do something, I'm going to make it. I'm going to do it. And so now I value things based on how much are they going to give me? And is this something that I really want to do? Like I think it through, like, do I really want to do this? Will this get me where I want to go? Is this the highest quality? I only want to do highest quality things. I'm a high quality person. You're a high quality person. You have to start talking to yourself like that if you want to truly make an impact on this planet. See, that's the thing I think people don't realize. Like they get all this like, oh, money, blah, 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 it's so bad. Yeah, but you can't do anything. You can't help anybody if you don't have money. If you're a poor yoga teacher and you don't have enough money to pay your bills, you can't keep being a yoga teacher. If you're a poor massage therapist and you can't you're not making enough money, you can't keep doing massage. You're going to have to go do something else because you're going to have to pay your bills, because at the end of the day, the world just works that way. And if we want it to work differently, great, but it doesn't. That's not the reality. Like, wake up. If you want to help more people, you want to have a massive impact on this planet, you are going to have to make more money. And that means at some point, you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to do something that levels you up, that's going to be more expensive than anything else that you've done before, because you're going to have to become a totally different person to become who it is that you want to be today. You're going to have to break out the chains of who you were and become somebody totally different. Anyhow, I could go on about this all day, but I'm not going to because I have a new event that's coming up that I want to work on and get the page out. I want to do the landing page today. I'm going to do an event, and I think the working title right now is Yoga Teachers Get Started Online. But I want to invite people outside of yoga teachers, so I'm going to try to like think of another word, but anyhow, I'm going to do a 2-day full event on how to get started online. That's going to be coming out very soon. I'm working on the landing page today. I'm hoping to get it launched this weekend. And we've been talking about it for a couple weeks. We've got the whole outline planned. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be like kind of a prequel to the Empowered Yoga Teachers course. Like, what do you need to do to be able to be successful in that course? And really like build offers and get out there. And how do you get started online? Because I think that's the number one thing. People come to my calls and I always ask people, what do you feel like we can do to help you? And people will always say, I just want to get started online. I don't know how to get started online. So check out the Get Started Online event. That will be coming out soon, and it'll be a 2-day event. All live. Really excited. It's going to be like an online conference. It's going to be super fun. I've never done this kind of thing before, but I'm ready and I'm excited. My mentor, Russell Brunson, does them. So I was going to do them for my people. He does something different, and his is also really awesome. But anyhow, mine will be different than that. I'm excited to see you all there. And I would love to work with you in the Empowered Yoga Teachers course. If you're ready to level up, make some changes, and step into the life that you deserve and help more people on a higher scale, please do apply to the course. The link is going to be below. It's angelicagovaert.com/training. And love you all. It's wonderful to see you. Glad to be back in the office and getting it done. All right. I'll see you in the next episode. And one last thing. Give us 5 stars and join the Facebook group so that you can be there and go live with Francesca. She goes live every week in the Facebook group. So go check her out. And she helps people build their online business. And you can get in there and get a lot of support. And it's going to be fun. So yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye, friends.